Друзья мои, всем привет! Добро пожаловать на канал Доктор Windows Pro Gaming. Мы продолжаем играть в игру Divinity. Нас уже здесь трое.
Oh, the fierce dance and dugongs. You nearly startled me out of my boots. Well, you've got my attention, Ask away, my friend, ask away. Always helps to know a thing or two about who's covering your back against the gnashing hordes, eh? More than I'd hoped, comrade. I don't know what in tarnation's gotten into the townsfolk here, but there's enough dark magic running. There's Mayor Cecil's doings, and on top of it all, the feline menace is lurking at every hearth and shadow.
Ну, как бы мы уже это все слушали. Что нельзя локальную карту открыть? Хотелось бы так маленькую карточку бы. Что здесь? Эсмеральда, это его жена. А сначала надо до капитана дойти. А вот тебе и маленькая карточка сразу. Свой правый угол не совсем, наверное, удобно.
You don't think it's infected, do you? Beyond these walls, the dead roam free, Hunter. Be vigilant. Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Come on. The Legion stands at the ready. You don't look like you're quite ready to head out into the undead-infested wilds to me. Thank you for heeding my word.
Значит, нам не туда. Меня легко говорить, друг. Мне проблемы не нужны.
The beast speaks, so you've half a brain behind this feral.
That's it, troops. Train up while you can. The next orcish strike could land at any moment.
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Sightseal, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs, you hear?
Бля, лук лучше у меня. Могу починить все. Так, окей.
I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Sicil. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate, Jakes. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to... Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation... What? If you must. Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Sicil stinks of fish, reeks of orcs. We are the pride of Rivellon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark, and I'd say they're looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's mad... Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts.
Ну, допустим. Так, окей, значит, у нас есть пропуск. Окей. Окей, допустим.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Come on.
Так, я думаю, где-то здесь входик.
Cruel fortune.
Performers, showmen, show all
Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
Бродилка, конечно, тут карта такая огромная.
Move along.
Lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. How many times do I need to state and restate my complete innocence in the I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor. But like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried, but everyone suspects me of this evil deed. So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger and you believe them? These insinuations truly go... Well, what do you want to know? Sicil. Would you believe this dying metropolis was rather recently one of the realm's greatest assets? Our trade routes were the busiest thoroughfares in the land, before the undead took to dragging their carcasses across them. Sometimes I forget they're even out there, to be honest. Remember above all to stay behind the wall, we tell our children. And when you've been...
Adamant about her innocence.
We'll need to look for evidence if we want to prove she actually did the evil deed.
Пора копнуть.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent to the Northern Cave?
Do I seem like the sort to concern myself?
Greetings, Source Hunter. I don't mean to... Not exactly the friendliest bloke, the captain, is he? Well, you're...
Прикольно.
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone. Somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Terrible! By the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? Two Rivalonians here? Oh yes, proper introductions. Zigzags the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was. As for how I got here, well, for a historian, how you got here on such a tiny and rapidly shrinking vestige of space and time, I wouldn't have... at last a question I can answer most definitively. Time ought naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare. Show, don't tell, I always say. So, go.
I think that imp may be quite...
You looked. You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal. It's the portal. It's quite sprung to life, just like the long... You, dear stranger, you must be those torches, a light. This portal active once more. Goodness me, how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. It is the void. I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's not that I believe. Then, no, though I cannot. In fact, every... But why spoiled? After you, Yes, just as I hoped. There she is. There it is. Come.
And he's off.
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
какая-то баталия.
Could it be, milady? The weaver of time?
Indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he who chronicles all that I weave.
Astounding! Unbelievable! I have so many...
You have brought guests, I see. Strange. Very strange guests.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of time.
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive? A stone? So... It was a stone that caused the Not like this, no. Never had I experienced something so... contrary to my nature. But yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact.
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you not see...
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. Source hunters. It would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Why and how? Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. Its true nature. Do you see what violence my work has suffered? What wounds?
Mysteries of all time. Gaps in history.
It would appear that Starstone
Блин, озвучка на английском,
transforms at
конечно,
your
классная.
touch,
Если бы на русском перевели,
granting
было
you
вообще
new
шикарно.
thread by which to...
I see. What the void would shrink.
Yes. Though I cannot explain why this Starstone is... If we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, the void will consume us all. Indeed you must, though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone...
Why, of course, that's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see, collectors of starstones.
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivellon. The entire tapestry will crumble.
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before Zax, we will put a stop to it. First, we mend the pleas, our most mysterious...
Not but a moment ago we were hunting Source in Rivellon. And now we're being told that we alone can prevent the end of time by way of some magical stones.
We can't deny our reaction to Starstone. There must be something to all of this, mad as it may seem.
No matter how improbable, anything is possible. If the...
So, what do you think, Source Hunter? The glint in your gaze and the set of your brow suggest to me... No, with you searching out Starstone, I believe... But you'll need a way to travel between Rivellon and this homestead, won't you? Luckily, the power of portals is known to you, so I'll let you in on the little secret of... Off you go, then! You've Starstone to find, and I've a tapestry to examine. Surely there must be some...
Cross my heart, hope to fade in the void. I honestly don't know.
Like the imp said to the ballista operator, shoot! Wouldn't it just... Would that I had a star just like yourselves, start from what I can get. Ruins, caves, the lairs of long-forgotten evils. Those... Oh, I don't know if I'm more than those things per se, but having been given a divine mission... But of course I have a price to pay for something that is priceless. It is my... So, gather those starstones so that we may know... Lonesome, observing the frontier of creation? Surfing the vibrant... Well, yes, actually. Perhaps you can imagine the profound... Neither do I. But the mere... This in turn, more... We may not understand... Before you go, Source Hunter, a final word. Once you... I hope he'll be able to help you as much as he can.
How welcome you are upon this realm, our most honored guest. I hope in the ethereal threads of eternity, do I record the deeds of God, the drift of continents through changing seas, the rise and fall of empires, the shift of every grain of sand on every beach, except, it seems, ask and I am the weaver of time. As I have told you, I am but what I am, and that is task. Perhaps we are one and the same. Task multiplied by 2. Who has made? Am I the beginning? And am I to be the end? Who shall say? Perhaps I am the first thing in creation. Perhaps I am creation. Alas, the answers to a hidden answer lie. I believe that starstones will not lead you to new places of wonder only. Oh, Hunter, I have no need for company. Like I have no need for air or appetite or affection. And yet, I do enjoy your companionship. For you may prove to become the cure that will heal my... Quite so. Your absence, it should... I do not know you, which makes you... But perchance I may be cured of this blindness. Perchance the blemish may be undone. And I think that perhaps you can redeem time, because you know that no longer I did weave. I sat here at the end of time and watched on as the void phrased the fabric of time like a but suddenly there was you. New threads emerged. These stars, what it is but a seed bereft of... I reside in another realm altogether.
Да, легче не сказал.
A question has me stumped, milady. Why are there 2 of us? 2 beings that record all of history parallel to one another?
That is a good question, Zigzags. One without a conclusive answer, though its resolution may lie in conception. Where you chronicle, I both...
Типа возвращайся в сводный город.
Source Hunters, I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. I know the imp historian has told you about his agent on Rivellon, and that agent is I. So now that you know of the Alliance, and I'll be delighted to give it. Dark webs are being woven around these parts. It can therefore hardly be a coincidence that Councillor Jake was a collector of the stones we seek. That means the task you have been given remains crucial. Find the assassin that did away with Jake for your... While you were being lectured by our friend the advantage of being a cat, you know. You go where you please with impunity. That's where I saw them in a cabinet. Mere slivers, but specks of starstones nonetheless. They lay there, silent and innocent, though bloody murder may have been committed in their name. Don't we all long for a sanctuary where our worldly troubles can be held at bay? But perhaps I speak only for myself, not for vet. Like any cat worth its salt, though, I deeply cherish a secret refuge unbeknownst to anyone. Let me phrase it like Zigzags might. A universe without time is like a pen without ink. A pointless instrument stripped of the potential of creation. I'll not pretend to have all the answers, or if Zigzags worries, I worry. I met him first, a long time ago, out in the wastes of youthful Gore. So I told him who I was and showed him my human form. In the end, he even shared his great sorrow with me. Oh, before you go, here. Take this teleporter pip. You'll need the other one too if you want to make use of its powers, but alas, I seem to have... Now that this matter has been settled, Hunters, I shall detain you no longer.
Unknown to all time, are you? Leave it to an imp to try. I'll tell you who you are. Source hunters, members of the most esteemed order in Rivellon. Here to find out and grind out every last speck of dark magic in the realm. There, the enigma is solved. What are you? You think I'm... No, comrade. I just hope this fancy of yours doesn't interfere with your real job.
Почему она это сказала?
My gods! What is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get out, will you? A magical pyramid, eh? Frivolous and lecherous magic.
What you get for trying?
Out now, if you please. This room is private.
Sigurd's beard, what a find!
Don't just stand there. What do you think you're doing?
А как мне уйти отсюда?
Don't just stand there. Go.
Beyond these walls, the dead roam free, Hunter. Be vigilant.
Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away?
Кажется, надо опять вернуться на...
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge?
Looking good. Fastened tighter than the treasury. Maybe the lock can be jimmied.
Так, подожди, у тебя же были отмычки.
source wasn't... But it would be wise to inspect the counselor's corpse as well.
Надо смотреть труп советника. Нормально она бьет. Обычный урон, но кроме того, у каждого есть особый навык. Где труп? Он говорит, осмотреть труп. Труп же не здесь. Видите труп? Я не вижу труп.
Hearty welcome to the King Crabbit. Mind if we keep our voices down over that sensitive subject? Death and dark man. That room where it happened. It was rented to a certain woman. Though I regret to say she came heavily cloaked, but paid the full sum in advance. I saw one other figure go into the room that night. Someone tall, built broad like a man, but I was startled awake by a horrendous hubbub shortly after midnight. By the time I burst into that room, it was horribly silent. There was only whoever done it has escaped through the window. But I saw nary a soul when I looked out. You can bet I hightailed it to the Legion barracks. Councillor Jake, that poor man. I knew too much about his affairs, you know. Never Esmeralda's longest-standing lover has the audacity to remain lodged at this very inn, you know. He's called the Duke of Ferrell, a high title for a low man. If you haven't yet asked him about Esmeralda, the name's Ivad. Pleased to make your acquaintance. All you see before... Well, between you and me, things have been rather slow since...
Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match once or twice.
Он говорит типа советника. Еще через окно типа выбрались. Сюда нам можно сходить.
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent to the northern cave?
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things? Ah, what have we here, tall as an elf? And my word, what passion burns from your eyes. Please forgive my being forward, but I dare say, that I have. For nearly a lifetime, it seems. Well, I'm sure you must know what I mean. Like existence itself, I believe I have found that component, that body, that... Yes, you must join the Fabulous Five right away, as soon as... Already refused to join, but darling, didn't you... how can we... Away from me now, oh pup.
Really now? I can't afford to indulge in chit-chat with my legion of followers. What do you mean, not familiar? You... Why? I'm only the... And don't forget, I'm the most eminent member of those nasty beasts.
Понятно, да, всякие вредик они тут говорят.
Never saw you in the king crab before. You're welcome to scratch me behind the ears if you like. I won't scratch back. I am Unsinkable Sam. At least that's what they call me around here. Used to be a ship's cat, but the clipper I was on sank when I was the only one to wrestle himself free from the weight. So I was. What friends I had. Not that I have it bad here, mind you. I've milk and fish aplenty. Most folks will pet me kindly, and when one of the village girls holds me tight against her ample bosom, I purr up a storm. A magnificent ship she was. Used to belong to a pot. The moment I hit the water, I writhed around like I would on a hot tin roof. But by all means. People make a fuss about them because they endanger the lands around the city. They never bother me when I'm out for my monthly walk, though. But still, I do detest them. I mean, don't mention orcs to me. Worse than dogs, that lot. Maxine, the mayor's darling pet. So gentle. So, she likes me. I know she does. But when I declare my love...
That purring sound.
Ah, hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for information I don't... I am the Duke of Ferrell. Though I suppose my name... Yes, she and I have a history. As easy as it would be to pin suspicions on Esmeralda or I. Jake and Esmeralda had no great affection for each other. He had his interests, she... Which one? I've written Esmeralda more works of lyrical mastery than... It's very tragic news. I won't posture and say that the Counselor and I were anything near allies. Which one?
A source hunter. I'd like to report some... I think I'm one of the... Though that's the question. I was washing up. Lucky for the perpetrators, I would...
Такс. Любопытно. А где его тело? Собственно, мне нужно найти его тело. А где оно, мне непонятно. Давай сходим к этим пиздюкам еще раз.
Baking like a cake.
Sorry, you don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Oh, what now? Oh, if you must.
Нет, тут ничего нет.
Quiet! Not.
Oh, thank you to take a step in another direction.
В тюрячке здесь ничего.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome. What? I'd never. What a delight she is. The temperament, and what might those be? Oh, a mere trifle for one with the intellect of a feline, and those who are raising the dead dwell among. The enemy is wily. You have a flair for until they conclude. By all means. Of course. I hope you're I myself have none. Even though now it may well be I can but piece together what they say. A woman arrived in the King Crab Inn sometime after midnight. I say man and woman because both of them were cloaked and recognized by none. About an hour. It took a while for the landlord to pluck up the courage. How and why he came to be there, no one knows. But I had a good look around the scene of the crime before It might be a bit late to inspect the body, in that it has already been buried. It may be worth your while to speak to the mortician, though. Chap called Roberts. He has a house. I can't say much more, but that they're madmen. But certainly. What would you like to know? Oh, I am but a wizard. My task, you see, to my great Oh, but that's not a such mad to be. But of course it's handy to. Oh, that'll never happen. Granted, a witch could make. I'm my own.
Дневник обновлен. Это уже что там? Мы на верном пути.
Before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Ah, come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face! Hey, who's that then? Come on.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're...
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, I tapped her on the shoulder to see what would...
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I...
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully.
Sir, no, sir.
Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing.
After all.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it?
Heed me, Source Hunter.
To the barracks! Notch! Be close! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Attention! About face!
Теперь нас уже четверо.
Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
To the barracks! Notch!
If you say it is so, then wary I will be. As the god wolf Amira...
У нас уже 4. Неплохая компашка. Можем уже нормально махаться.
I'm overheating here.
Oh, I could do with a cold drink.
Honored to meet you. Wish I was a sauce.
Прикольно, что камера так свободно вращается.
Those ducks.
Хочется таб открыть, это мини-меню, если честно.
Dear me. How the... We'll have none of that, do you hear? Oh, how nice. Pray, let me be forward with you. Oh, sapling rose, oh, leaf of spring. For my weary mind is... You would listen to my grievance, hot spice.
Было, наверное, прочитать, что он хотел. Куда мы в этой серии вообще махаться не будем. Решение в кроме мэра, капитана. Короче, трупы.
Looks like the mortician is rather suspicious about Jake.
What could Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, or Evelyn have to do with it?
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death? Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect... I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable... How do you... Ah, the ledger, is it? Fool was I to leave it in... Plenty of us shopkeepers entrust the mayor with the spare keys to our businesses, you know? And he's the only person... He could have used it to sidle in without a peep, if he were so inclined. Aureus himself paid me a visit the night the body was delivered. Came rapping at my door in the frosty morning before... Can't see why he'd bothered to go through all that trouble. And I know it sounds strange suspecting the doctor's apprentice of something so ghoulish as this, but there's few in this city. It was she who delivered Jake's body from the inn to the mortuary. And there was something about her that night. Seemed she could barely contain her thoughts. That there was something thrilling about to happen. I can't quite settle it in my... And this may or may not have anything to do with the whole rigmarole. But her master, Dr. Theleron, bought an old shack of mine, one overtaken by undead, for an exorbitant price considering I never saw a widow less distraught at the death of her husband. And I've seen hundreds pass through. It was she who rang my bell just before the body was snatched.
lured me outside claiming she needed air before discussing the funeral arrangements. This here is my family business. Yes, there's been a Roberts escorting stiffs into the next life since the foundation of Sicil itself. That gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair, and I certainly plan on making some use of it.
Как я узнаю? Вот сейчас сразу дых-дых-дых. Вот как это рандом? Ну как вот это знает?
Killer of the community? Ha! Half this city doesn't know my name, and the other half regards me as the... So, what's the bad news? More ask 1,000 times if you like. I'd rather risk a flight to the north than hand...
Значит, он нам дал херово тучу подсказок. Тут место еще нам.
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I...
Borrow, indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than...
Come now! I'll be good for it, I swear! I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times. Oh, my stories... So what do you think?
That merchant has to eat too, you know. Leave the fish alone.
Yes, you know what...
I... a hungry man, you know.
Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
While lighting my pipe.
Oh, careful now. Your head's very more swollen than saffron's, I dare say.
Appears to be locked.
Leave me be, I have a job to do.
Так, а отмычки нет уже, все.
The torturer. All hail, Grog. All hail his hot...
Ah, you have come. Yes, that is most satisfactory.
The game, yes.
The elves of Gandavum. They lived in peace. Oh, yes. But one night, when the moon had hit all undone,
Every last one of us.
I may be frail, a withered grey, but the wealth of kings is... I have tracked her down by the curse of the spine spear I have. She does not know her ill-shapen son is setting fire. Yes, Victoria. She is the one whose heart... The orcs of Gazultaga. They knew my name. Her name is that of a woman, Victoria. My name is
That was quite the radical change we witnessed. I never would have thought that the benign old man we met outside would turn out to be a vengeance-driven aficionado of assassins.
He is as much a savage as those orcs. And how is Victoria guilty of her tribe's crime if she was but a babe at the time?
Indeed.
Victoria!
По-моему, дедули капсда. Так, я думаю, друзья, можно смело сохраняться в этом раунде. К сожалению, махачей никаких не было. Очень, кстати, жаль, хотелось бы. Хотелось бы, чтобы махач был. Ладно, сейваемся. И уже продолжим в следующей серии.